Greetings and welcome to a new episode of Mobility Conversations. And our guest today is Mr. Mahesh Babu, CEO, Switch Mobility India and COO, Switch Mobility Limited. Mahesh, welcome to Mobility Outlook. It's a pleasure to have you on our show today.
It's my pleasure to be part of here.
So, as a young company, and it's just about a year old, you've had a great start. So, talk to us about the journey.
I think we had a roller coaster journey for the last year, but it was enjoyable. I would say we started off with like we have orders about 10x from where we started. We have a good team now. We have about 700 plus in the team. We have established the manufacturing process both in UK, India, and you know that we have established a footprint in Spain.
Right.
So overall, I would say we have a very efficient and high-performing team. We have footprint globally, and we have orders in hand which we are serving. And most importantly, the products. The automobile industry is about products. You know that we have launched already EV 12 couple of months back in June, and July already we started delivering those buses to Bangalore. And this day is going to be very important for us because it's a nostalgic getting back the iconic double-decker back. We were pioneers, Ashok Leyland in the group with the traditional double-decker, and with EV 22, Switch is the first Indian company to launch a double-decker electric in India.
Right.
So it's very, very symbolic, iconic, and historic for us this moment. And I would give credit to the team because we had multiple challenges in bringing out these products in this 1 year. We love to take a lot of learnings from the global market. We have to commonize the architecture. For example, the 650 volt architecture used in EV 22 is same as EV 12 and also the Switch EiV bus in Europe. So we did a lot of scale up globally and standardization globally. While we have to keep up the Indian market, the Switch EV 22 as a standard floor looking at Mumbai rainy and flooded conditions. It has a very wide space of entry in the rear. It has double steps towards it. I think we had a fantastic 1 year for us to establish ourselves as a brand. Sure. I would say now Switch is a brand well established globally, including India. We have a good team, we have a good footprint, I believe we have good products, and then now we have to go and conquer the world.
Superb. So talking about products, of course, the EV 22 is a very interesting product. But when you look at the Indian market, particularly a market that is nascent when it comes to electric mobility per se, what sort of drove the decisions to bring in these products to the market?
I think if you look at growth, what India is growing, India is the fastest growing economy now. Mobility is always part of the growth of GDP and the country. Now, if you look at India, India has 22 cars per thousand in car adaptation when compared to 600, let's say, in Europe. Will India grow to a GDP level much higher and then achieve car adoption up to 500? It is very difficult. You need huge roads, infrastructure, and our population is so high, and 1.4 billion people now. It's very important to give them a very sustained mobility to challenge and adapt the growth. So if you want to do that, public transport is the only way. If you look at what is happening in metros are being scaled up in multiple cities. But metros alone cannot do everything. So bus and public transport plays a very important role in it. And if you look at public transport, you are seeing a substantial growth after the pandemic, particularly in EV. Many orders have come. Our order book is almost 10x when compared to last year. And we had already started delivering the new set of Switch branded EV bus from July. So a lot of things are happening. And why double-decker? I think we did a lot of study and what I would say reflection within the management team. If you look at it, double-decker makes a lot of sense for India because we are growing, we are urbanizing very fast, and we have a huge population. We have a challenge of footprint in the cities. So if you want to address the footprint and mobility, then you need less space and more people to travel. So you have seen how the suburban trains in Mumbai are. So we need to move a lot of people within the city, and double decker perfectly fits in. It has a 66 passenger capacity, which is 86% higher than the single decker, with just 18% increase in weight, let's say curb weight. So you add 18% weight because the whole body is aluminum composite material we have designed, and it's very, very what I would say stable, because the batteries are on the floor, so the CG is much lower, and hence it is very stable in the roads. And if you look at how we have configured, it will almost take out 28 to 35 cars on the road. So which is a substantial benefit to the city. So this is an experiment. I believe it's most needed in countries like India, and particularly cities like Mumbai. We have already started discussing with multiple cities. They are eagerly looking at how this pilot is going successful, and they want to partner with us. Okay. And being a pioneer then, we want to be pioneer now. So we really want to bring in the electric version. That's why we configured the air-conditioned electric bus. Right. Well, there was a lot of discussion happened. Do we need AC in it? I think finally we said, if you want to bring people from the car to the public transport, you need to give a comfortable ride. You need a convenient drive, and that's what we did it in EV 22.
How are you looking at expanding the market in the Indian, in the country? Bombay, you said, this is a pilot, but, which are the other cities or markets that you think there's an opportunity for you to actually venture into?
See, I think double decker for all the metro cities and state capital have a very high chance to adapt double deckers. Of course, it will start with the niche segment, niche numbers, but I believe once they get used to it and look at the economics for it, and if you are able to manage the city operations, then I think quickly it will catapult into a higher number. But not alone the double decker. If you look at our expansion plan, recently we have announced a MOU with Chalo for 5,000 buses. So our intention is to participate in public transport like STUs, private players. There are school buses, there are intra-city and intra-city buses. So we will work at multiple areas. Ashok Leyland and the parent company is market leader in particularly bus segment, and we want to bring that back in electric as well.
Okay. So you're saying that, from an opportunity point of view, right from smaller, even feeder buses for metro routes going up to the double deckers, you have the whole bandwidth available to you.
Perfectly. We will be working on all of them.
Okay. Okay. So what is the kind of learnings that you could talk about that Switch is bringing in from, let's say, your operations in Europe into a market like India?
I think if you look at it, we have a clear strategy. For example, our R&D is co-located in 3 locations between UK, India and Spain. We have individual team in all these 3 locations who work and understand the market thoroughly and derive products like EV 22 and EV 12 in India, E1 in Europe, and Metro Decker Metro in UK. So there were application engineers in R&D who thoroughly study the customers and derive products out of it. We also have core engineering. For example, the 650 volt architecture which the EV 22 has is a similar one we have in EV 12 and very similar in E1 bus which is in Europe. So we are sharing this. We have opened up an R&D center in Warwick where we are looking at advanced engineering center where we are looking at ADAS and autonomous driving and new technologies experimentation in UK. India will have core engineering, application engineering, and let's say the EV architecture, EV system design will happen from here. The advanced engineering will happen from UK, and application and customer-oriented design will happen in all the regions. That's how I look at it.
Okay. So when you say core engineering, application engineering, I understand because of the certain market demands you would have to apply. When it comes to core engineering, what are the key focus areas for Switch as far as India is concerned?
So, for example, we have a vehicle control unit. The vehicle control unit is a software IPR owned by Switch. So we do a lot of what I would say regen, driving pattern, pedal application, route, all that energy efficiency improvements, utilization of charging, discharging during the battery, all that knowledge is being done by us. For example, the integration of the complete EV architecture, DC-DC converters, motor controllers and motors, integrating with the battery, BMS, all that is being. We also have a Switch EiV platform, which is a connected vehicle solution platform, which is connecting all the vehicle, taking a 2 terabyte of data. On this data, we do diagnostic, prognostic. We are also working on over-the-air software updates. We do route planning, we do energy optimization, we give training to drivers. Based on drivers, we change the pedal mapping such that we get the best efficiency out of the driving. We do a lot of such things which will help the energy efficiency, which will also help the total cost of ownership of the vehicle in the operation. Right. So that is what I would say core engineering. Increasing efficiency of charging, utilizing the best energy for driving, how do we regenerate, at what conditions, and then bring back the energy back, how do we understand each application, and we do digital twinning. We can change data sets for Delhi and Mumbai based on temperatures, and to improve efficiency, to improve life, and when to switch on AC, switch off AC, things like that. So we do a lot of energy optimization. It's important that we are just not a EV company, we are a net zero company. So we want to be net zero, and we want to democratize zero carbon mobility to common man. So that's our intent.
Right. When you're talking about decarbonizing the environment, of course, two of the major pain points currently continues to be the battery and the charging technology, right? So from a battery perspective, what can we expect coming out of Switch? And also if you can give us an idea about the kind of charging solutions that that Switch would bring into the market.
So regarding the battery, we use very high energy density NMC batteries. They have a very long life, between 3,000 to 4,000 cycles of life. The energy density is good that we are lighter when compared to our competition. For example, in London bus, when compared to our competition, we are like 2 tons lighter than the competition. So similarly in India, when compared to LFP, others, we are lighter, and hence we are efficient every kilometer we are running. So that's on the battery technology. Today, right now, we have partners who supply the battery module, and we assemble the pack in our facility in our manufacturing plant. Going forward, we are also looking at how do we make our own battery management system, linking to Switch EiV, and how do we make this successful. The work is going on around it. So that's on the battery. On the charging, we use CCS, but one of the very unique double gun charging facility we have, because the battery is high energy density, we can charge them faster. So for example, in just 50 minutes, we could able to get let's say 0 to 80 in 50 minutes we can do in our BMTC Bangalore bus. Let's say in about less than 80 minutes we can do a 0 to 80 in the Switch EV 22 bus. So depending upon the battery capacity, between 45 minutes to 90 minutes, you will be able to get the complete full charge with our double gun charging. So that's where that's our what I would say strength, and hence your assets can be utilized fast. You can put back the vehicle within half an hour to 40 minutes to run another 100-200 kilometers, and we absolutely have no issue with that.
Okay. Is it fair to assume that the double gun charging solution would be standard across Switch products?
Yes, we are giving double gun charging almost in all the products. Where the battery site is very low and only single gun can meet the requirements, only in such conditions we are doing single gun. Plus, we also do, that's where our intention is to get the best total cost of ownership. So we will not give anything which is not needed. For example, if you are giving a bus for a school which is parked for like 8 hours, you don't need double gun charging, and hence we will not give that. We'll give a single gun. So we'll give them cost optimized total cost of ownership solution. So we will study the application. Our sale is not a bus. Our sale is a solution. We give a solution for transportation to our customers. including charging, number of chargers. We optimize such that we get the best total cost of ownership in the market.
You mentioned your strategic alliance with Chalo, 5,000 electric buses over a period of time. Uh, Give us a sense of how you're strategizing your production for the Indian market, because you have demands coming in from other states as well. Plus, you have this new 5,000 EV order. So, how are you strategizing your production, and how do we see that ramping up over time?
See, this 5,000 bus is over a period of 3 years. So we have said that both of us will deploy 5,000 bus in 3 year time. We are getting orders in multiple, like this EV double two, we are going to supply about 200 numbers to Mumbai. We have a production capacity of about 2,500 units. And this year we will complete about 500 units in delivery approximately at the rate in which we are going. And next year we are looking at 1,000 plus. So we will be within the capacity at least for a year now, and within a short span of 6 months we can double the capacity, because the parent company has assets, enough assets where we can scale up quickly. That is our strength. So we can leverage the supply chain, we can leverage the manufacturing footprint of the parent Ashok Leyland, and we'll be able to scale up very fast. And hence I don't see an issue of increasing the capacity, and we will be able to meet the demand when it comes.
Okay. Would India also be sort of a hub for Switch mobility, wherein you actually export products from the Indian market to other markets globally?
Yes, so we are looking at location based strategy. For example, we want to use the left-hand drive all developed markets from Spain, right-hand drive developed markets from UK, and growth markets from India. For example, we want to send it to Middle East, Southeast Asia, Africa, and other regions, growth market regions from India, based on the learning from the Indian application. Okay. We will look at similarly left-hand drive markets from Spain, and let's say Australia and other, Japan we are working on from the product from UK. So that's our strategy. So we will decide based on the market which one perfectly fits in, and which technology and which manufacturing and the product which will fit in, and that's where we will applicate. And this is right now the thought process within the team.
Okay. Okay. Beyond products, Mahesh, beyond product, Switch, I understand, is also looking at becoming more of an ecosystem player, ecosystem solutions provider. So from that perspective, what are the kind of opportunities that you see, and what are some of the solutions that we would see Switch bringing to the market?
See, we have a subsidiary called OHM. Yeah. OHM is a company which is a subsidiary of Switch, which will bring the assets of, let's say, the buses into the books of OHM, and they will give EMAS services. So they will give per kilometer run applications, including a package of maintenance, charging solutions, connectivity, route planning, supporting digital connect. They will also come up with wet lease, dry lease. They will come up with multiple applications to serve the market as one need. So, so between Switch and OHM, we will really are open to sell the bus, to give it in EMAS services. Depending upon the consumer's customer's requirement, we'll be able to meet it. So that's what we are saying. We will definitely look at ecosystems like optimization of the route, availability of charging points, which is the right location to select charging, what type of spares to keep, what type of diagnostic we should do, how do we, everything including operations management. We have completely digitized all that, and we are working on as part of the Switch Ion platform to give that value added services to our customers. So that will be the value add, I believe, because we will be giving an experience to the customers, not just selling a product.
While doing that, would you also need more partners in the market to that you'd look at tying up with?
Yeah, so of course, yes, we are talking to multiple players. Today, we have a cloud solutions with AWS. We are working with multiple players as well. Chalo is one of the partnership because they are very good at ticketing. Sure. So we are open to look at all ecosystem and partners. For example, in our own company, Dana, is a partner of 1%. They are strategic partner for us in the drivetrain. They are very globally sound on technology on powertrains, electric powertrains. Similarly, we are working with other partners who will come and play. I think the EV ecosystem and the business is about more cooperation.
Sure.
And that's where we will look at.
Okay. Your final question on your expectations from the Indian market, the growth that you've seen, the way e-mobility is evolving, right? For buses particularly, how do you see this growing over a period of time?
Indian market always surprise prediction. So, to be frank, the highest growth of EV happening in all the markets we are present is in Indian market.
Right.
So there are a lot more happening here, and we need to get a lot more get done in India than any other market right now. I think India is at a sweet spot. I would say that we have a very stable government, we have a very stable policy, and there is a resolve to bring in sustainable mobility. We are already committed towards a net zero as a country by 2070. Switch has already as a commitment of democratizing zero carbon mobility and being a net zero as a company before that. So I think it's all happening in a very rapid phase, and which has not seen both in any of my lifetime career. I've been in the EV industry for almost 7-8 years now, and in this 8 years of my experience, I think what's happening now is one of the fastest, rapidest growth. Either you take two-wheeler segment or three-wheeler, or even in cars or in buses. I think we are at a very rapid phase. Only thing is we should not lose momentum. Sometimes what happens, I think today with the FAME subsidy and what's happening in the tenders and this, it's helping us.
Right.
I think we should not lose the steam and at least sustain for next 3 years the momentum. Then it will become autopilot mode. Till such time, I think everybody's attention is needed for this transition.
Okay, so you're saying that government support is of course welcome, but to continue with the momentum, government needs to continue to sort of support the industry with subsidies that it's offering currently.
Yeah, I would say so for next at least 3 years. I think I know very clearly subsidy is not going to be a long part of the story, but for at least next 3 years, if the industry could able to understand, consumer is able to understand, industry has invested now due to PLI and the adoption, what's happening. I think consumers needs time to understand the technology and have faith and reliability. For example, insurance companies, finance companies, consumers, they are all right now trying and experimenting the technology. They have faith, but they would like to see at least 5-6 years of operation in all the segments, which will give them more confidence and than what it is today. And I think that's where we all have to work on.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us. Appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.